You might be breaking the law without even realizing it. In this video, we're exposing 49 insane permit laws people break every day, from hanging a TV to painting your own bathroom. By the end, you'll realize you're probably a felon, legally speaking. 1. Painting your bathroom and replacing the vanity simultaneously sounds like a productive Sunday afternoon for any ambitious dad. You put on your old clothes and feel like a master craftsman saving money on labor. But the moment you combine those two tasks, you trigger a requirement for a full building permit. In the eyes of the city, you are not a handyman. You are an unlicensed contractor running an illegal site. Your wife just wanted a new sink and fresh blue walls. Now you are hiding from the inspector like a wanted criminal. It is ridiculous that a bathroom refresh requires the same paperwork as building a skyscraper. 2. Hanging a small 22-inch television on your wall is usually a simple task for a college student. You borrow a screwdriver and twist two tiny screws into the drywall to watch movies. But in specific municipalities, that innocent act is a violation of building codes without a permit. The local government believes those two screws are a major structural alteration to the property. You just wanted to watch a reality show in peace. Instead, you are technically destroying the integrity of the building. It seems absolutely insane that you need official approval just to mount a tiny screen in your own bedroom. 3. Installing a basic screen door on your front entrance seems like the most harmless upgrade a homeowner can make. You just want to enjoy a nice breeze without inviting every fly in the neighborhood into your kitchen. You grab a drill and a kit from the hardware store and feel proud of your work. But the city sees it differently. In many places, adding that extra door changes the exterior appearance and egress width. You are now in violation of zoning laws without a permit. Your innocent desire for fresh air has turned your front porch into an illegal construction zone. The bugs are legal, but your door is not. That is just wild. 4. Building a simple doghouse in your backyard is a classic project for a loving pet owner. You buy some wood and nails to make a cozy spot for your golden retriever. It is a small wooden box that sits on the grass. However, in select areas, this structure is considered an accessory building. You actually need to submit full engineering plans to the city council for approval. They treat your dog's nap spot like a guest house addition. You just wanted to keep the rain off your puppy. Now you need an architect and a blueprint for a house that fits one dog. It is absolutely baffling how strict this rule is. 5. Setting up a child's plastic wading pool in the yard is the highlight of summer for any family. You fill it with a hose and let the toddler splash around in 6 inches of water. It is cheap fun that you can buy at a supermarket, but the law is watching you. In strict jurisdictions, any structure holding water is defined as a swimming pool. You technically need a safety fence and a permit to keep that $10 plastic tub on your lawn. You are not a fun parent anymore. You are the operator of an unlicensed aquatic facility right next to your barbecue grill. Imagine getting fined for a puddle. 6. Tearing out and replacing old carpet is usually just a messy weekend chore for a tired husband. You rip up the stained rug to make the living room smell fresh again. You roll it up and drive it to the dump feeling accomplished. But wait until you hear this. Some cities require a building permit for any floor covering replacement to check for sanitation. You thought you were just cleaning up your home. The government thinks you are doing major remodeling work without oversight. It is terrifying that a simple room refresh can land you with a hefty fine from the city inspector. Your floor is now a crime scene. 7. Adding a drip pan under your existing water heater sounds like a smart safety precaution for a responsible homeowner. You just want to prevent a leak from ruining your basement floor. You slide the metal pan underneath and sleep better at night. But plumbing codes are incredibly strict. Even lifting the unit to slide that pan in counts as reinstallation of a fixture. You legally need a licensed plumber and a permit for that safety upgrade. You tried to protect your house from water damage. Instead, you exposed yourself to a code violation. Logic clearly does not apply when dealing with these absurd plumbing regulations. It is totally unfair to safety-conscious people. 8. Swapping a standard light fixture is the first thing people do to modernize a dull dining room. You turn off the switch and twist a few wires to hang a pretty chandelier. It takes 10 minutes and makes the room look expensive. But according to the electrical code, you are playing with fire. Replacing a hardwired fixture is often defined as electrical work requiring a permit. You are not just a decorator, you are an unlicensed electrician in the eyes of the law. A simple bulb change is fine, but touching those wires makes you a criminal in your own ceiling. The risk is high for such a small change. 9. Hosting more than 2 garage sales in a single year is a great way to declutter your messy attic. You put out some tables and sell your old clothes to neighbors for cash. It feels like a smart way to recycle and make money. But many cities have a limit on how many times you can do this. The third sale legally turns your driveway into an unlicensed retail business. You need a specific permit for every extra sale you hold. Your grandmother selling her old teacups is actually running a black market storefront. The city wants its cut of your 50-cent profits. That is simply greedy and ridiculous. 10. Organizing a neighborhood block party is the ultimate way to build community spirit on a sunny afternoon. You grill hot dogs and let the kids draw with chalk on the sidewalk. Everyone brings a dish and laughs together. But if you stand on the public street, you are breaking the law. Most towns require a special event permit and insurance to gather on the road. You are not a friendly neighbor, you are the organizer of an illegal public assembly. The police can technically shut down your potato salad station. It is sad that friendly fun requires a stack of government paperwork to be legal. Your party is now an illicit event. 11. Trimming a tree on your own private property seems like a basic right of homeownership. You grab a saw to cut a few branches blocking your view of the sunset. You feel productive clearing up the yard for summer. But in urban heritage zones, you might be committing an environmental crime. Certain species are protected by strict city ordinances. You are not just a gardener, you are a destroyer of protected nature. The city can fine you thousands for touching that oak tree. You just wanted more sunlight in your kitchen. Now you are being treated like a villain for pruning a plant you actually own. 12. Building a retaining wall to hold back some dirt is a common garden project for a dad. You buy heavy stones and stack them up to make a nice flower bed. It looks sturdy and adds value to the garden. But if that wall goes higher than a few feet, you are in big trouble. Local codes often require an engineer and a permit for anything taller than your waist. You created a landscaping feature. The city sees a potential landslide hazard. You have to tear it all down because you lacked a stamp from a professional. It is crazy that stacking rocks is illegal. 13. Replacing your roof after a bad storm is usually an emergency repair you do immediately. A worried homeowner sees water dripping and climbs up to fix the shingles fast. He rips off the damaged section and nails down new material to stay dry. He thinks he saved his house from water damage. But the city inspector disagrees. Replacing large sections of a roof is considered structural work requiring a permit. You are legally supposed to let it leak until you get paperwork approved. You tried to be responsible and quick. The law says you were too fast and unauthorized. That logic is completely backwards. 14. Collecting roadkill for dinner is a unique way to save on grocery bills for some people. A driver in West Virginia spots a fresh deer on the side of the road. He thinks it is free meat and loads it into his truck. He feels lucky to find such a prize. But even roadkill requires a permit or reporting in many states. You are technically transporting wildlife without a license. The game warden can ticket you for picking up a dead animal. You thought you were being resourceful. The state thinks you are a poacher of accidents. It is a weird rule for something already dead. 15. Trying to make it rain on your farm is an ambitious idea for a dry summer. A desperate farmer in Colorado might want to use cloud seeding to save his crops. He sets up a machine to shoot silver iodide into the sky. He hopes for a miracle storm to water his corn. However, modifying the weather is strictly regulated by state laws. You need a permit to play God with the clouds. You are not just a farmer, you are an unlicensed meteorologist. The government owns the weather, apparently. It is wild to think you can get arrested for trying to make snow or rainfall. 16. Keeping a comfortable couch on your front porch is the ultimate way to relax outside. A group of college students moves a sofa outdoors to enjoy the fresh air. They sit there drinking soda and waving at cars. It feels like a perfect outdoor living room. But in cities like Boulder, this is a violation of visual ordinances. Upholstered furniture is banned from porches due to fire hazards and looking trashy. You are not chilling, you are creating a public nuisance. The city can fine you for being too comfortable. You just wanted a soft seat. The law demands you sit on hard plastic chairs only. 17. Cutting a new hole for a window is the best way to brighten a dark room. An artistic wife decides her studio needs more natural light. Her husband cuts through the siding and frames a beautiful new opening. They install the glass and love the view. But cutting a new hole is a structural alteration unlike a simple replacement. You need a permit to change the shell of your house. You are now living in a home with an illegal opening. You wanted to see the birds outside. The city sees a compromise to the building frame. It is frustrating that sunshine requires a government stamp. 18. Hanging drywall to finish a basement is the dream of every man wanting a den. You buy the sheets and screws to turn a cold cellar into a warm room. You work hard every weekend taping and mudding the walls. It looks like a professional job when you are done. But in strict jurisdictions, covering those walls without an inspection is illegal. You might have covered up electrical hazards or fire blocks. You have to tear down your new walls to show the inspector what is behind them. You built a sanctuary. The law says you built a fire trap. That is heartbreaking work to destroy. 19. Swapping out a broken toilet is a job nobody wants, but someone has to do. A homeowner buys a shiny new commode to replace a leaking one. He waxes the ring and bolts it down tight. He flushes it once and feels proud of his plumbing skills, but some codes define this as installing a new fixture rather than a repair. You technically need a permit to change the porcelain throne in your own bathroom. You are just trying to keep your house sanitary. The city wants a fee for your bathroom upgrade. It is unbelievable that a toilet swap is a regulated government activity. 20. Spending more than $500 on a renovation seems like a tiny budget today. A frugal couple decides to update their laundry room with cheap cabinets. They spend $600 on materials and do the work themselves. They think they are being smart with their money, but in many places, any project over $500 triggers a permit requirement. You are accidentally breaking the law by spending too much at the hardware store. You are not a thrifty renovator, you are a high-dollar developer in the eyes of the code. It is laughable that such a small amount makes you a target for inspectors. 21. Hanging a simple clothesline to dry your laundry is illegal in many modern neighborhoods. A thrifty mother wanted to save money on electricity and use the summer sun. She strung a rope between two trees and hung her wet sheets to dry. It smelled fresh and looked lovely blowing in the wind. But her homeowners association sent a fine immediately. They claim drying clothes outside is an eyesore that lowers property values. She is not an environmental hero, she is a visual polluter. She just wanted crisp sheets. The rules say she must use a machine. It is sad that nature is banned from drying clothes. 22. Running a lemonade stand is a classic summer job for kids, but it is often illegal. Two little sisters set up a table on the sidewalk to sell cold drinks for $1. They made a cute sign and smiled at every car passing by. They felt like real business owners making their own money. Then a health inspector stopped to check their papers. They did not have a food vendor permit or a commercial kitchen. The city shut them down for being unlicensed caterers. Those little girls were treated like black market criminals. It is outrageous that selling sugar water requires government approval. 23. Having more than 2 dogs play together on private property is a crime in certain Oklahoma towns. A dog lover invited her friend over for a puppy play date in the backyard. The 3 dogs ran around chasing balls and barking happily. It looked like pure joy and innocent fun. But a grumpy neighbor called the authorities. The law states that 3 dogs congregating constitutes a kennel operation requiring a permit. She was not a hostess. She was running an illegal animal facility. The police broke up the party. It is absolutely wild that dogs need a permit just to have friends over. 24. Transporting a sheep inside your passenger vehicle is actually against the law in Montana without a chaperone. A rancher found a sick lamb and put it in the back seat to drive to the vet. He thought he was being a kind animal caretaker. He drove down the highway with the sheep looking out the window. But legally, he needed a herder or a specific permit to have livestock in the cab. He was technically hauling unapproved cargo. The sheep was comfortable, but the driver was a criminal. It is hilarious to think a sheep needs a ticket to ride in a car. 25. Building a storage shed slightly larger than a bedroom triggers a massive permit requirement. A suburban dad bought a kit to build a place for his lawnmower and tools. He followed the instructions and built a sturdy wooden structure in the corner. He felt organized and proud of the new space. Then the city measured it and found it was over 120 square feet. He legally needed a foundation and a building permit. He built an illegal structure because it was 1 foot too wide. He has to tear it down. It is crazy that a tool shed needs government permission. 26. Installing a new gas appliance requires a permit even if you are just hooking it up. A master chef decided to upgrade his kitchen with a professional gas range. He bought the expensive stove and connected it to the existing gas pipe himself. He tightened the valve and checked for leaks carefully. He was ready to cook a feast. But the city code says touching a gas line is illegal without a license. He is sitting on a potential bomb in the eyes of the law. You can buy the stove, but you cannot plug it in. Safety rules make sense, but this feels excessive. 27. Expanding your driveway to park an extra car is a violation of zoning laws in many areas. A father wanted to make space for his teenage son's new car. He poured some concrete on the side of his driveway to make it wider. It looked neat and kept the car off the street. However, he poured over a utility easement that belongs to the city. He effectively paved over public property without asking. The city can force him to jackhammer the whole thing up. He just wanted a parking spot. Now he has a pile of expensive rubble. It is frustrating that you do not own your own dirt. 28. Erecting a permanent basketball hoop that is visible from the street is often prohibited. A sports-loving family installed a professional pole and backboard in their driveway. The kids played horse every evening and stayed out of trouble. It was a wholesome family activity, but the local ordinances ban permanent sports equipment in the front yard. The city claims it ruins the aesthetic of the neighborhood. They received a citation to remove the pole immediately. They were punished for encouraging their kids to exercise outside. It seems the government prefers kids to stay inside playing video games. That is just sad. 29. Hosting a casual bingo game among friends is technically an illegal gambling ring. A sweet grandmother invited her church group over for tea and bingo on Tuesday. Everyone pitched in $5 for a pot to make it exciting. They laughed and played for 3 hours. But without a charitable gaming license, they were breaking state laws. The grandmother is not a social butterfly, she is running an unlicensed casino. The police could raid her living room for illicit gaming. It is laughable that a retirement game is treated like a high-stakes poker room. The law has no sense of humor. 30. Installing rooftop solar panels to save the planet is often blocked by strict residential codes. An environmentally conscious couple spent their savings on a solar array. They wanted to reduce their carbon footprint and lower bills. They bolted the panels to their roof facing the sun, but the city inspector said the panels were visible from the street. In historic districts, that is a major violation of visual codes. They had to remove the eco-friendly tech or face huge fines. They tried to do good for the earth. The city punished them for being ugly. It is a backwards way to treat green energy. 31. Moving a cactus in your own yard in Arizona is actually a serious crime. A new homeowner decided to rearrange his desert landscaping for a better view. He dug up a tall saguaro cactus and moved it 10 feet to the left. He thought he was just gardening, but the state protects these plants like they are endangered animals. You need a specific permit to move or destroy one, even on private land. He is technically a plant poacher. The cactus police can fine him heavily. He just wanted a nice garden. Now he is an outlaw in the desert. 32. Putting up a flagpole to show your patriotism can land you in legal trouble. A proud veteran bought a tall pole to fly the American flag in his front yard. He dug a hole and cemented it in to wave the stars and stripes. He felt honorable and patriotic. But the local zoning board has strict height limits for structures. His pole was 2 feet too tall for the neighborhood code. He received a citation to take down the flag immediately. He is not a hero, he is a code violator. It is ironic that flying the flag is illegal. 33. Taping up signs for a birthday party is a violation of city ordinances. A loving mother wanted to guide guests to her son's 5th birthday party. She put up bright cardboard signs on telephone poles saying "Party this way." She thought she was being helpful to lost drivers. But in many towns, placing temporary signs on public property is illegal littering. The city worker ripped them down before the party even started. She is not a party planner, she is a vandal. Her guests got lost and the cake melted. It is crazy that a cardboard arrow is a crime. 34. Replacing the rotting siding on your house seems like necessary maintenance. A diligent homeowner noticed his wood shingles were falling apart. He bought new vinyl siding to protect his home from the rain. He spent all weekend nailing it up to make the house look new. Then he got a stop work order on his front door. Changing the exterior material of a building requires a permit to ensure fire safety. He is living in an unauthorized construction zone. He just wanted to fix the rot. The city wants him to pay for the privilege of repair. It is baffling. 35. Installing a whole house fan to cool down is a great way to save energy. A sweaty dad climbed into the hot attic to cut a hole in the ceiling. He wired up a big fan to suck out the heat during summer. He felt smart for lowering his electric bill. But cutting that truss and adding a motor requires a mechanical permit. He compromised the fire barrier between the attic and the house. He is now sleeping under a code violation. He wanted a cool breeze. He got a heated argument with the inspector instead. That is frustrating. 36. Swapping a broken water heater for the exact same model is still a permit job. A freezing tenant bought a new tank because the old one rusted out. He connected the pipes and the gas line exactly how they were before. He finally took a hot shower and felt relieved. But the city code demands an inspection for every water heater change. He is breaking the law by fixing his own hot water. The inspector needs to see the pressure valve. He is technically an unlicensed plumber. It is absurd that an identical swap is a crime. Common sense is lost here. 37. Adding a new electrical outlet is a small job that causes big problems. A tech-savvy teen wanted a plug behind his desk for his computer setup. He cut a hole in the drywall and ran a wire from an existing box. It worked perfectly and looked clean. But extending a circuit is regulated electrical work that needs a permit. He created a potential fire hazard according to the code. He is not an electrician, he is a reckless kid. The insurance company could deny a claim because of that one outlet. That is a scary thought for a tiny plug. 38. Installing central air conditioning is the dream for anyone living in a hot climate. A family saved up money to buy a big condenser unit for the backyard. They hooked it up to the furnace to finally sleep in the cool air. It felt like paradise inside the house. However, doing this without a mechanical permit is strictly forbidden. The unit needs to be a certain distance from the property line. They installed an illegal noise machine. The city can force them to disconnect the cool air. It is cruel to make them sweat for a permit. The rules are brutal. 39. Building a low deck for a barbecue grill seems like a simple weekend project. A happy husband bought some lumber to build a platform in the backyard. It was only 6 inches off the ground, so he thought it was safe. He set the grill on it and invited friends over for burgers. But the city requires concrete footings and a permit for any attached deck. He built a structure that technically violates zoning setbacks. He has to tear up his hard work. He just wanted a flat place to cook. The law demands deep concrete pillars for a small platform. 40. Feeding your household scraps to pigs sounds like good recycling. A farmer decided to raise a few pigs and fed them leftovers from dinner. He thought he was saving money on feed and reducing waste. But feeding garbage to pigs is actually a federal offense in many cases. It can spread diseases like foot and mouth disease. He is not a thrifty farmer, he is a bioterrorist risk. The agriculture department takes this very seriously. He just wanted to fatten up his bacon. The government sees a national health crisis. It is wild that leftovers are illegal to use. 41. Building a simple patio on the ground is treated like a major addition in many zones. A happy homeowner bought some pavers to make a spot for his grill. He laid them down on the dirt and swept in the sand. It looked great, and he was ready for a barbecue. But the city inspector stopped by with a clipboard. He explained that pavers count as an impermeable surface. You need a permit to cover your own dirt with bricks. The man just wanted a flat place to stand. Now he has to rip it all up. It is crazy that laying bricks on the ground is illegal. 42. Floating a simple kayak on public water requires a permit in states like Oregon. An adventurous teen bought a plastic kayak to explore the local river. He paddled out on a sunny day to enjoy nature. He felt peaceful drifting on the water. Then a ranger on a boat pulled him over. The ranger asked for his waterway access permit. The teen had no idea he needed a license to paddle a piece of plastic. He got a ticket for being an unauthorized boater. He just wanted to exercise. The state wants a fee for using the water. It is ridiculous to tax a paddle boat. 43. Keeping your Christmas lights up past February is a punishable offense in places like San Diego. A busy dad was too tired to take down the roof lights after the holidays. He thought he would get to it in the spring. The lights were not even turned on, but a neighbor reported him to the city code enforcement. He received a hefty fine for seasonal decoration violations. He is not a lazy homeowner, he is a visual nuisance criminal. The city dictates when the holiday spirit must end. It is hilarious that procrastination is now against the law. He has to climb the ladder or pay the price. 44. Running a charity bake sale is technically an illegal food service operation. A kind grandmother baked 5 dozen cookies to raise money for the local animal shelter. She set up a table at the park and sold them for $1. People loved her chocolate chips. Then the health department arrived to inspect her kitchen. They shut her down for not having a commercial license. She was treated like a rogue restaurant owner, poisoning the public. She just wanted to help puppies. The law says she is a health hazard. It is sad that sharing cookies requires a government stamp of approval. 45. Hosting a community snowball fight is an illegal public assembly without a permit. A fun college student posted on social media to meet at the park for a snow battle. 50 people showed up to throw snowballs and laugh. It was innocent winter fun, but the police arrived to break it up. Organizing an event on public land requires liability insurance and a permit. He was not a party starter, he was a public disturbance creator. The fun ended immediately. It is wild that throwing frozen water requires paperwork. The government really knows how to ruin a snow day. 46. Installing a new garage door opener or replacing the door is a regulated construction project. A frustrated husband backed his car into the garage door and dented it. He bought a new one and installed it himself on Sunday. He felt proud for fixing his mistake. But in hurricane zones and many cities, this is a structural change. You need a permit to ensure it meets wind load standards. He is unknowingly living with an illegal door. The inspector can make him take it down. He just wanted to close his garage. The code demands he pay a fee for that privilege. 47. Adding a swing set for your kids can be a violation of zoning laws. A loving father bought a big wooden play set for his daughter's birthday. He assembled it in the backyard near the fence. She was so happy swinging in the air, but the structure was too tall and too close to the property line. The city ordered him to move it or destroy it. He created an illegal accessory structure. He tried to be a good dad. The government sees a zoning hazard. It is heartbreaking to tell a kid her swing set is illegal. Rules are way too strict. 48. Trimming a tree branch that hangs over your fence is a legal minefield. A gardener was tired of his neighbor's tree dropping leaves in his pool. He cut the branch at the property line to keep his yard clean. He thought he was within his rights. But trimming a tree without a permit or permission can be property damage. If the tree dies, he is liable for thousands of dollars. He is not a tidy neighbor, he is a vandal of nature. The law protects the tree more than his clean pool. It is scary that a pair of shears can cause a lawsuit. 49. Placing a giant inflatable Santa in your yard is often banned by city rules. An enthusiastic homeowner bought a 12-foot-tall snowman to celebrate the season. He inflated it on his front lawn for everyone to see. He loved the holiday spirit, but the Homeowners Association in City Code restrict the size of temporary structures. They told him to deflate the decoration immediately. He is not festive, he is creating a visual blight. The neighborhood rules are stricter than the law. It is unbelievable that a balloon is considered a crime. You cannot even have fun in your own front yard anymore. Congratulations on realizing that your daily life is a literal crime scene. You cannot even paint a bathroom without the government getting involved. It is truly a wild world we live in. Make sure to subscribe to BrainFumble right now to keep your criminal record clean. Hit that like button and ring the bell so you do not miss our next investigation. Share this video to save your friends from potential prison time. Let us know in the comments below. Which one of these insane laws have you broken recently? Are you guilty of illegal gardening or unauthorized furniture possession?